This is me in 5th grade. Besides having really cool bangs, I also had a really cool teacher who gave us lots of writing assignments. Once upon a time, she gave me a blank book and told me to rewrite a fairy tale from a different point of view. And I was like, fairy tales? I'm in 5th grade. I don't really care about fairy tales. I care about things like Boys to Men and lava lamps. And I was complaining about it to my dad, and he said, well, you could just make it funny. And I was like, what? How do I just make it funny? And he said something like, pretend that there's a pedestal, and you're standing behind it, and there's curtains and chairs, and there's people in the chairs. Pretend you're on stage, and you have to make your audience laugh. So that's what I tried to do. I tried to imagine an audience beyond my teacher, but I wouldn't necessarily say that what came out was funny. I was in 5th grade. The complexities of my jokes were elementary. So I wrote this book called The Other Side of Hansel and Gretel, and it's told by the witch in first person, but it wasn't your average first-person narration. This witch talked directly to her reader. I even shared the author credit with her. I was in 5th grade, breaking the fourth wall, all because my dad told me to imagine an audience. Once upon a time, there lived a happy little witch in a happy little forest. I didn't think people thought I was weird, just different. If you haven't guessed yet, I'm the witch in Hansel and Gretel. Sure, everybody loves those two. Actually, they're just plain brats, and if I were their mom, I'd leave them in the woods and forests too. I wouldn't waste my food on them only to find out they were leaving it for the birds. Now, I'm not going to read the entire thing to you because some things are better left a mystery, but you get the gist of what I was trying to do. So let's fast forward a little to my attempts at humor. So far in the story, the witch has woken up to hear Hansel and Gretel eating her house. The witch is lonely, and she sees the children as potential companions. "What is your name, child?" I asked the boy. "What's it to ya, you old windbag?" I figured maybe the girl would be a little nicer. Wrong. "Are you hungry, girl?" I asked her. "No, you ugly geezer." Now I know I'm not Miss America or a Cindy Crawford look-alike, but sometimes I wonder where manners have gone these days. Whatever happened to respect your elders? Sheesh. Now, if the witch sounds like a lonely, whining, 30-something spinster, it's because she is. I based her off of Kathy, which was somehow my favorite comic strip. I don't know. Anyway, I end the book with a lawsuit, or more specifically, a not very threatening letter from the witch after Hansel has thrown her in the oven. She gets out of the oven and decides she needs to press charges. Hansel and Gretel. Ha ha. I'm not dead. I am burned, though. I will see you in court on 5/2/98. Get a lawyer. Respectfully not, the witch. P.S. Right back. Well, they do write back. They also know how to spell lawyer. Dear witch. Lawyer. Hello, wake up and smell the coffee, geezer. We're 11. Count 'em 11 years old. We're lucky enough if we can get enough money for transportation. Hated. Hansel and Gretel. Not wanting to leave any loose ends, I finished the book with P.S. We won't bother showing up in court. Endings have never been my forte. So you might be thinking, wow, this kid imagining an audience sure did help this story. What a book. And I would say to you, you're not the only person who felt that way. On the back cover, I decided to include, along with a summary, some reviews of my book. New York Times called it outstanding, and although they rarely review fiction written by 11-year-olds, the Wall Street Journal said that I put a pinpoint on laughter. That's my story about trying to be funny by using an audience. And if it wasn't funny, I'm sorry, and Here's a picture of my cat pretending to type on my computer.